Governor Makinde of Oyo State and leaders of the Pan-Yoruba Socio-Cultural Organization, Afenifere, are working to reconcile national leader Pa Ayo Adebanjo and his predecessor, Pa Reuben Fashoranti. The meeting to discuss the reconciliation was held in Ibadan, Oyo State on Tuesday, where Governor Makinde, who attended the meeting, said that the unity of the Yoruba race is paramount and that the two leaders should sheath their swords. Both Adebanjo and Fashoranti supported different candidates in the 2023 presidential election. Adebanjo threw his weight behind Mr. Peter Obi of the Labour Party, while Fashoranti supported President Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress. However, Adebanjo dismissed the meeting, saying that he has no score to settle with Fashoranti. He also warned Makinde not to meddle in issues he does not know. It remains to be seen whether the two leaders will be able to reconcile. However, the efforts of Makinde and other Afenifere leaders are a step in the right direction. Joining us right now is a Rise News analyst, Dayo Sobowale, to discuss Governor Makinde's statement on efforts being made to reconcile Afenifere leaders, Pa Fashoranti and Pa Ayo Adebanjo, towards enhancing the unity of the Yoruba people. It's good to have you on Newsday, as always, Mr. Dayo.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes.
As usual.
Yes, perfect. So, I mean, let's talk about this. Do you think that Governor Makinde was well within his right to try to bring these two, the very important personalities together, to put the past behind them? Do you think that he was well within his right to do so, or should he have just let sleeping dogs lie?
I think Makinde is on the right track. He's a peacemaker, but it is an extravagant exercise. It is belated, and even the supposed beneficiary of the peace, something, Pa Ayo Adebanjo, has told him to start clear of the issue. But I will see Makinde as a peacemaker, in that he's not in APC, he's in PDP. You get me? During the election, he campaigned for Tinubu in the other party. Pa Adebanjo campaigned for Obi,
Peter Obi,
of the Labour Party. To me, Adebanjo forfeited his leadership claim to the leadership of the Yorubas. He's no longer a Yoruba leader. Fashoranti too is an old man. The Yoruba leader now, the bitter truth should be told, is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is president of Nigeria. And I will go back to history to tell you why I say Bola Tinubu is the leader of the Yorubas. Bola Tinubu is an offshoot of the Awolowo legacy. Awolowo was the first leader of the Yorubas. But he went to the federal government, left his assistant, Ladoke Akintola, in charge, and there was a dispute. And that dispute led to the Nigerian Civil War. And then a military ruler, Awolowo was a nationalist, a federalist, and a social welfare person who introduced free education, which has put the Yorubas ahead of the rest of Nigeria in terms of educational development till today. The next Yoruba leader after that was a military man. That was Olusegun Obasanjo, who metamorphosed later into a civilian leader. But Obasanjo became president because the country then felt the Southwest should be given a slot. And that slot was given to Obasanjo. But Obasanjo, up to now, is a destabilized Nigeria. He believes in Nigerian citizenship, not in any ethnic connotation. And like Danjuma said about him when he wanted to campaign for him, he said Obasanjo was the most destabilized Nigeria. But unfortunately, his people, the Yorubas, hate him on account of that. The next person who could have been a Yoruba leader was MKO Abiola. He died in the process. So right now, Tinubu has traversed the country. He is the president. It is an unnecessary digression to be reconciling Fashoranti and Papa Adebanjo with due respect to them, they have played their part. And then you can see that Abejanjo is as truculent as ever. He's saying that Makinde should start clear. But the beauty of it is that Makinde is not in the same party as Tinubu, but is the one trying to reconcile the two. So the Yorubas have a leader. So I don't see what the problem is.
All right, Mr. Sobowale, I'm glad you mentioned the fact that, it's an unnecessary distraction right now. But the question on most people's lips when they discuss this outside, what has been the relevance of this pan-Yoruba cultural group over time? Does the Southwest recognize their existence in the true sense of the word? And other than to do a critique on opposing views of governments over time. And sometimes even their criticism have been highly controversial and doesn't sync well with the Southwest.
Okay. I don't share your view on that. Afenifere, you see, came into being during military regime.
But I'm critical of this particular regime of these two leaders.
There's really no... Afenifere has gone into extinction, literally. It has gone into extinction. You see, Afenifere helped merge with Nadeko during when they were fighting the Abacha regime. That was how Tinubu got involved. Do you get me? So somewhere along the line, Tinubu became a governor in an election, even though it was a short-lived tenure. Now I will give you an analogy now. The other day, was it not yesterday, Wale Edun, I was watching Wale Edun, the new finance advisor to the president, and I said, I'm glad for this guy. He's been with Tinubu for a long time. But if Tinubu has not become president, he wouldn't have any post. The same thing with the Adebanjo, unfortunately, all those who are with Awolowo. Awolowo never became prime minister or president. So they never held real position, except those of them who are governors, like Bisi Onabanjo and Lateef Jakonde, who introduced free education in Lagos. So that frustration, you see, kept on making people like Ayo Adebanjo professional agitators, even right up till now. You can see, even now, of what use is the peace? If they lie, let them not quarrel. The Yorubas have a slot as president. And that is political power. And that's more relevant than trying to settle to...
I'm sorry, Mr. Sobowale, but yes, one can argue that Pa Adesoya has a right to voice his support for whoever he wants to. And
Adesoya is dead.
No, I'm talking about
Adebanjo or Fasoroti.
Adebanjo. I'm sorry about that.
Yes.
In that regard, so how would you react to that? You said, by virtue of him supporting Peter Obi,
yes,
he doesn't have any grounds to be...
The equation is very clear. He supports the losing side against his own...
But he's allowed to support him.
He has every right. And then he must be ready to pay the price of his choice. That's politics. So we don't take all situation.
All right.
I have no grounds on that account.
Okay.
Okay, just going back to what you had said earlier, where you said you don't necessarily see the need for this particular meeting to have happened. Yes. Using the points that Governor Seyi Makinde said, he said that it was important that Yoruba land is seen as united, and that even though the predecessor, who is Pa Adebanjo, and we're seeing Pa Fasoroti, who stood behind Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it's of course almost giving like a divide in this socio-cultural group. So even just in the set where we saw these two leaders, one vying for Peter Obi and one vying for our current president, couldn't that in itself see factions begin to happen within that party when it comes to other issues that concern Yoruba land?
Don't contradict yourself. You have cited an instance of friction. How can that lead to unity?
No, I'm saying that if they're not able to unite after this first friction, are we not seeing more situations, more instances where that friction is going to continue?
Of what value? Of what political value? is the friction between Afenifere and Adebanjo when the Yoruba man is president, and work is going on. You know, what you see is an unnecessary digression. Even the Baba has warned Makinde now that don't dabble into what you don't know about. The next thing will attack him that is from the other party, it's not even from APC. So it's an extravagant exercise, unnecessary digression.
So at this rate, do you think there will ever be some kind, yes, as you've alluded to, it's not really an important scenario, but if this is allowed to fester, this form of disunity as we're seeing now, it might permeate to other members.
Calling it disunity.
Okay, between those leaders. Okay.
No, there is a Yoruba man is in charge who has built bridges all over the country. He's trying. The guy is trying to react to the shock that the fuel subsidy removal has brought on the entire polity you are talking of. It's a digression, please.
So how can they be seen as custodians of unity among the Yorubas as a group right now?
You want to put us into
okay.
They have played their part.
Yeah.
We respect Yorubas. I won't say more than that. They've played their dues. You all have old men when they get old. I'm not saying they are senile, but you have to look after them. But you go on with your work now, with your life.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, then. So it's
not an important situation, no matter what case you try to bring that.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Sobowale.